It's more like I'm gonna help the criminal out more than you. The criminals get more help than the victim.
He lost his 7-year-old son in a drunk driving crash, and now he's fighting for justice after the driver was offered a plea deal.
It's a really tough moment, but I think we got the right things.
Another 50,000 LA residents forced to evacuate as a new wildfire sweeps through another populated area. Those stories and more right now.
This is The Edge.
The Edge at 11 starts now.
I never seen ice like that in my life.
If you could sum up the week in one image, it'd probably be this. Different variations of frozenness across the region, but this one, it just takes the cake. And the ice. A water main break on Monroe Street in Dearborn Heights, combined with cars splashing water, combined with freezing temperatures. And you know what you add that up to? This, an SUV completely encased in ice. Other vehicles were stuck too.
This was the biggest snowstorm in more than 100 years.
The numbers are in. The winter storm brought a record-breaking 10 inches of snow to New Orleans. That's more than we've seen here in Metro Detroit this season, and even more than double what Anchorage, Alaska got since the start of December.
It's hard to believe, but this video was taken in Tallahassee, Florida. University of Michigan grad Adrienne Johnson pulling her child on a sled in the snow at midnight, not wasting a chance for this once-in-a-lifetime moment in Florida to slip by. She says as of tonight, the snow still hasn't melted.
Yeah, they're loving it because it's probably going to melt away and not come back for a very long time for us. I don't know. We seem to be in an extreme deep freeze for quite some time now.
I know all my in-laws in New Orleans are on a text string, and they're all posting their favorite pictures of 9.5 inches of snow, Rich. That's crazy.
Yeah, we've seen nothing like that this winter, but it was cold this morning, the coldest morning so far we've had. Check out some of these early morning lows. Officially, -8 around Howell and in Port Huron. White Lake up at the National Weather Service, they were at -9, -6 over in Ann Arbor to start the day. Check out our latest weak system crossing the Great Lakes. This is all snow. It's all light snow, but it's out there, and it's going to be with us for the rest of tonight and for tomorrow morning. You can see live pictures here in Southfield. Just some light snow falling. Visibilities are not all that restricted. A good look at Sky Tracker showing a couple of pockets of some heavier snow there south of 96 in Livingston County, also around Pontiac as well. 16 and -3. Your official high and low today, way below where we should be. There's the record low for today, -10, so really not even close. Thankfully, temperatures are not as harsh now as what we've seen the last couple of days. Most of us are in the middle range of the teens. There's that breeze from the south and southwest. So a lot of us have wind chill values in the low single digits, and that's where they'll stay for the rest of tonight. 10 degrees in Marquette and for Minneapolis. There's 22 for Fort Wayne, 11 Pittsburgh. That's pretty cold. 13 degrees in Buffalo. So here is that system crossing the Great Lakes. It's going to be with us tonight and tomorrow morning, and then quickly tomorrow afternoon it shuffles off to the east. It is going to get cold again for Friday, not as cold as we have been, but it's going to be next week when we're going to see a pattern change, and it's going to bring in milder air. You'll see it all in the 7-day forecast. If your travel plans take you tomorrow to the Lake Michigan shoreline, you'll find some heavier lake effect snows there for us. Occasional snow showers tonight down to 13, with more snow showers tomorrow morning, about an inch total for some of us. And then right there is the 7-day forecast. Chilly for the weekend. Next week, we finally get back into the 30s. Rupert and Taryn, it's going to feel pretty good. A full check at 4 a.m.
All right, thanks so much, Rich. Just a terrible act of violence unfolding at an Orion Township home.
Yes, a caseworker who helps refugees from Afghanistan settle in Michigan is stabbed multiple times, allegedly by the person he tried to assist.
Well, it's terrible. I mean, obviously the person is trying to do their job, which is to help that person assimilate, and for whatever reason, this is the reaction he got.
Sheriff Mike Bouchard says a refugee, helped by the caseworker, somehow tracked down the caseworker's home address on Red Root Road, showed up, and stabbed them repeatedly, putting the victim in the hospital in critical condition.
We don't know specifically what his complaint was or his motive was, because the individual that was attacked is in surgery as we speak. He was stabbed multiple times.
You can't vet. How are you going to vet the immigrants?
Elias Muwad is a criminal defense attorney who also works immigration issues. He says there's a lot of problems with the current system that need to be addressed.
I'm not going to tell you that it happens all the time, but statistically, you don't know who these people are. You don't know what kind of criminal record they have. You don't know what mental health issues they have.
The Orion Township caseworker spent the day in surgery as Oakland County investigators try to dig into the backstory that prompted the attack in the first place. Meantime, lawmakers are currently discussing immigration issues in Washington.
The biggest issue for a lot of these immigrants is claiming asylum, and they have to prove to the immigration judge that if they go back to their country, they are going to be in fear of death or serious injury. It's hard to prove.
So clearly still a lot of details to sort out in this case. Investigators hoping to speak with that victim if they haven't talked with him already. Also, they are working to interview that suspect. In Orion Township, Dave Kinchin on The Edge.
On one hand, I want us to be realistic and alert and ready, but I don't want us to live in fear.
As President Trump promises mass deportations of illegal immigrants, a local church is prepared to act as a haven for those in fear of deportation. Central United Methodist Church houses many families who are working through their asylum process. President Trump is now working to change the policy, which would allow ICE agents to enter and make arrests in sensitive spaces that were previously off limits. And there we're talking about churches, schools, and hospitals.
You know, it should have never happened. A 7-year-old boy killed in a crash with a drunk driver. His younger sister now dealing with critical injuries.
And as the family celebrated what would have been the child's 8th birthday, they learned the suspect was offered a plea deal. Fox News' Jessica Dupnack has more now from the family.
Back in November, a drunk driver ran a red light here on Detroit's east side, killing 7-year-old Jerome Coleman Jr. and causing his 5-year-old sister severe head trauma. Their father hitting his breaking point after learning what the driver's penalty might be.
This the way I gotta celebrate my son's damn birthday.
Inconsolable in a video gone viral, taking aim at the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office and a so-called deal for his son's alleged killer.
I'ma fight for my son all the way to the damn end.
Yesterday was just my last straw. It was just, I was just overwhelmed with everything, and it was just like I exploded.
Jerome Jr. was killed November 9th. 30-year-old Ahmed Josta in the white car allegedly blew a red light, then blew double digits. Drunk behind the wheel, left the scene too. Here at 7 Mile and Mound.
Happy birthday to you.
Cake, candles this week. No Jerome Jr. to celebrate his 8th birthday. Dad remembers their last conversation when Jr. said he wanted to be an artist.
He told me he wasn't that good in drawing, and I told him, I said, well, you keep on drawing, you would get a little better. Yeah. So he told me that when I get home, he'd have a picture for me. But quite obviously that never happened.
Jerome Coleman Sr.'s 5-year-old daughter suffered severe head injuries and a broken collarbone in that crash. 2 other adults hurt too. And now, after all this, the driver requested what's called a Cobb's agreement, a plea deal between the defendant and the judge.
6 years and 3 months.
That 36th district court judge now will sentence Josta to 6 years and 3 months, up to 15 years behind bars.
It's more like I'm gonna help the criminal out more than you. The criminals get more help than the victims.
The Wayne County Prosecutor's Office sent us a statement laying out the details, including this part. As a result of the plea, the second-degree murder charge will be dismissed after the sentence hearing on February 24th, 2025. If the murder charge would have stuck, he'd face up to life in prison.
Look back at everything and all the evidence that they got and do what they're supposed to do. I'm not asking for anything extra. I'm not even asking for the man to get life.
Jerome says after his video went viral, a meeting was scheduled with prosecutor Kim Worthy and her team. It's set for January 24th. Reporting on Detroit's east side, Jessica Dupnack on The Edge.
I think that the only reason that there is this kind of bond is based upon what the prosecutors think they might charge him with in the future.
The attorney for DeAndre Booker, that man, argues that his client's bond should be lower after being charged in connection to the disappearance of his ex-girlfriend, Ashley Elkins. The Warren mother has been missing since the beginning of the month, and police believe she is the victim of foul play. After a weeks-long search of a Macomb County landfill, investigators were unable to recover her remains. Booker has so far been charged with lying to police and was given a $250,000 bond. His attorney says the bond doesn't fit the current crime allegation. The judge, though, couldn't be convinced. Booker remains in the Macomb County Jail. Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson is throwing her hat in the ring for Michigan governor.
And she's the first Democrat to join the race in a growing field of candidates.
I'll be running for governor of Michigan because I believe that our government should work well for every resident in our state.
Benson says she wants to make the government more efficient as possible, referencing to her time spent organizing state services.
I love Michigan and I believe in our future. We created the middle class and put the world on wheels because we're tough. We work hard and we never back down from a fight. But as I listen to people around our state, it's clear that too many feel left out in the cold. Their voices drowned out by more powerful ones.
Benson will be campaigning against Republican State Senate Minority Leader Eric Nesbitt and Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan, who's running as an independent. You can hear from Benson tonight on The Pulse following The Edge.
As Benson looks to continue building her political career in Michigan, a Detroit Lions leader has decided to leave the state to pursue his career ambitions. Defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn is set to become the new head coach of the New York Jets. The news follows the departure of offensive coordinator Ben Johnson, who was originally or officially welcomed today as the head coach of the Chicago Bears. And we'll have more on the Lions' losses, these losses, coming up on The Edge in sports.